Hi everyone, it's me, Mrs. Harris, and today I'm going to do a lesson with you on water pollution. Who polluted the river? For many thousands of years, people have lived on the banks of rivers. They hunted in the forests, harvested foods from the wetlands, and caught fish in the river. Imagine that this bowl in front of you is from a river near your house, but only 1,000 years ago. How does it look to you? Does it look like water you might drink, swim in, or eat the fish from? I know I would. It looks nice and crystal clear. So imagine this. One of the first explorers to visit the river kept a journal of his discoveries. He wrote about the Native American villages, the tributaries of sweet water, and seeing so many fish that he and his crew tried to capture the fish with frying pans. But soon the colonists began to arrive, and they found fertile land for farming, forests teeming with wildlife, and a river that provided ample food and water. It was an outstanding environment for settlement, and the colonists prospered. Take a minute and think, how do you think the colonists used the river? Perhaps for bathing, food, drinking, cooking, maybe even transportation. Do you think that we use our rivers in the same way today? Any similarities? Any differences? Let's continue. The river has changed a lot since it was first explored. This is the story of those changes. Years go by and occasionally storms drench the area. High winds whip the trees and blow leaves into the water. Gradually, the city around the banks of the river grew, and developers cleared wetlands and forests to build houses and businesses. Rains washed loose soil from construction sites into the river. Is this water safe to drink? It's just some dirt and leaves. We could filter that out. I would drink it. Would you swim in it? Yeah, I would. Do you guys think it's safe for wildlife? Yeah, I think so too. Well, at first, the city was small, and upstream, farmers planted crops to feed the city's growing population. Some of these crops grew right up against the banks of the river, and the fertilizer washed off the land and into the river. Would you drink this water now? I don't think I would. Would you swim in it? How about go boating on it? Yeah, boating might not be so bad because the water's not going to touch you. Well, guess what? Other farmers kept pigs and other animals in their barnyards, and as the rainwater drained out of the barnyard, it carried some of the manure into a little creek behind the farm. And guess what? That creek flows into the river. Here's the icky manure. Would you drink this water now? No way, me neither. I would not swim in that either. Well, as the city grew more and more and more, people began to move to the nearby countryside. These rural houses are not connected to the city sewer system. Wastewater from these houses flows into the septic tanks under the ground. And one homeowner has not maintained the septic tank, and poorly treated sewage seeped into the river. And to meet the electricity needs of the city, area officials decided that they would need to generate more power. Far upstream, a coal mine was dug, and rainwater drained down into the mine shaft and soaked the piles of wastes and scraps from mining. This made the rainwater become acidic, sort of like a strong vinegar. Then the acid water trickled off the banks and back out into the river. And to burn the coal and produce the power, an electric power plant was built along the river. Gases coming out of the smokestacks combined with moisture in the air to form acids. The pollution then falls back to the earth as acid rain and smog. Would you drink this water? Nope, I I wouldn't either. Wouldn't swim in it either. Would you put a boat on top of it? Yeah, I'd probably do that too, because that water's not going to touch us. Now think about this. How could we determine if this water was safe for wildlife? Think about all those animals that are in there. What can we do to figure it out? Maybe notice if there's any evidence of dead animals, test the water levels, look at some water under a microscope. Lots of things we could try to do to see if it's safe. Let's continue. Now, this city is one of the largest metropolitan areas in the country. Traffic congestion is a big problem for commuters who drive their cars to and from work. And car exhaust fumes, just like power plant fumes, cause acid rain. If a car is not kept in good repair, it might also leak oil and other fluids, which will be washed off the pavement and into the river with the next rain. And how do the residents of the city and its suburbs spend their time? In one neighborhood, lots of gardeners are out working in their yards. Many of them use weed killers and insect sprays to keep their lawns pretty. Well, the next rain will wash these poisons into a little creek nearby, and guess what? That creek flows into the river. One father is teaching his daughter how to change the antifreeze in their truck. They just pour out the used antifreeze into their driveway. Now, keep in mind, the antifreeze is sweet tasting and can poison animals that lick it. It can also get into the nearby creek and flow into the river and poison fish. Nearby, a boy washes the family car. The soapy water washes down the driveway and into the storm drain. Well, the storm drain enters into the river. The grease and the grime on a car can contain asphalt from the roads, asbestos from the brakes, rubber particles from the tires, toxic metals, and rust. If the boy had gone to a local car wash, the water would have been treated before it returned to the river. Next door, a family is cleaning out their garage. They find an old rusty can with a tattered skull and crossbones labels still stuck on it. What could it be? It looks dangerous, and they want to get rid of it before someone gets hurt, but how? Hey, Junior gets an idea. Let's just go pour it down the drain out by the curb. So the mysterious liquid goes down a storm drain. The poison's out of sight, but it's headed for the river. On nice days, many people head down to the river. Some zoom up and down in the river in their motorboats. And they may not notice when a little engine oil leaks into the water. A group of friends have spread blankets on the shore for a beach party. And lots of families are picnicking in the parks too. Some of the people like to leave their trash around, or maybe they just forget. With the next storm, all of this trash will end up in the river. And on the shore, a person fishing snags a hook on a log and breaks off the nylon fishing line. And there that goes into the river. That could also hurt some wildlife. Look at this river, folks. This is how our rivers look today. Think about that. Could any of these behaviors been prevented? We're going to go ahead and talk about this in the next session. Thanks for watching.